Hey, welcome everyone to this edition of the Gentleman's Panel. I am Rebel Son. The other guys are backstage, anxiously waiting. Jay Wilson, what's up?
What's up?
Conscious, what's
All
good?
right.
And King Pain, hey, captivating.
Yeah, what's up?
Look at everybody. Oh my
What's
God.
up, y'all? What's up? I'm waiting for King Pain to come on through, y'all. He's
How he on
backstage.
time and still ain't here? Make it make sense.
Hey, Lynn T, Janice James, what's good, everybody? How's everyone's week been so far? How's everyone's week been? Jay, what your week been like?
It's really been good. I'm just gonna have to read somebody because they done came.
Leave the door unlocked.
And I'm gonna have to go on
Leave
here.
the door unlocked because I got Sabrina's key.
What you say? Oh,
He said he's wearing a fedora.
Okay, yeah, but anyway, so after the gentleman's panel, I might have to get on and have to go ahead and handle some business because somebody who think they cute, I don't know why they think they cute, but I'm gonna have to handle them because they looking like Sammy the Seal over there, and I'm not for it. So anyway, I'm gonna handle that.
Here we go.
I'm gonna handle that after the gentleman's panel. I'm gonna handle it.
Conscious, what's been going on this week for you?
Well, everything has been going great. I got some new artwork done for my channel, so I'm enjoying my new animated thumbnail. It is amazing.
I love that. I saw it.
Yes, thank you. And I also got an intro done that I'm going to be debuting next Monday. So I just am living for it. I got my own little Conscious TV song. It's so cute. So I can't wait to hear y'all gag over this 27 seconds of mastery. Okay, so it's been a good week.
Okay, and captivating over there looking like I come in peace, Spock. Them eyebrows snatched. What's going on?
I am doing well. Just been paying attention to this horrendous trial of a murderer and kind of just living life. But yeah.
Yeah, it's been ongoing because I see the feed on my YouTube and I'm like, okay, it's really this guy. If he doesn't get life, I'm just too outdone.
I mean, he's not, but it's just crazy.
It's definitely been crazy. So, you guys, it's definitely been a lot going on. It was a whole media storm with this whole Lil Nas X video. Guys, I know you all have probably watched it. We've all done some commentary a little on it. I've done just a little tidbit of it. But Jay, what's your stance on it? You know, you being definitely more rooted in religion than most of us. So what's your stance on this whole?
Oh, first of all, I don't believe in censorship. If you don't want to watch it, don't go over there and watch it. I may not necessarily agree with Conscious, the Luciferian content of it and the Illuminati symbolism, but this man is angry and this is how he expresses himself and this is what we saw. And my thing is, if it triggers you, then you got to question yourself, why does it trigger you? It is what it is. And I don't agree with it, but he has a right to make it if he wants to make it. And, we don't have to go watch. That's my thoughts on
it. Okay. Conscious, what's your stance on it?
Well, it wasn't the video that really bothered me because I understood like a lot of the symbolism and kind of how he narrated telling his story of coming out and the role that religion played and homophobia and all of that good jazz. It was really the satanic shoes that bothered the living hell out of me, coupled with a lot of the statements that were made on Twitter after the fact by him, coupled with the fact that Lovely T exposed a lot of old tweets that were really damning and super incriminating, even though they were made when he was 15 years old. It's just, I don't know any 15-year-old who has said some of the things that he said. And so there's been a lot going on. Make a long story short, I feel like what he did was just a reckless use of privilege. I think he didn't consider the way that queer people at the bottom who don't have privilege would be impacted by the homophobes and transphobes of the world who already believe these ideologies, and these type of ideologies lead to the death of Black trans women. They lead to the death of Black queer men, of lesbian women. And so, you know, while it was cute for him, I just feel like it was reckless, it was insensitive, and I also don't support Luciferianism. And I don't honestly want somebody with that level of privilege also having that ideology on top of it. So I'm not here for Lil Nas. I'm not a fan. I wasn't already a fan, and I actually have grown to just have quite a disdain for him after all of this.
Okay. No, some of the tweets. What were some of the tweets like? Because I
So
didn't
some
look
of the
at.
tweets where he was making fun of Nicki Minaj's abortion. Like he kept dragging her abortion and using weird like symbols from SpongeBob and stuff to talk about this is what her aborted fetus would look like, and like using the images of small people. And then he was also making some colorist comments, like comparing himself to Northwest, who was Kim Kardashian's child, in comparison to looking like Blue Ivy, who we know is a brown-skinned girl with natural hair.
Mm-hmm.
He also said something that just sent people over the top, which was, I quote, "I really want to fuck my nephew, but he's 3 years old." And then people were just like blown apart. So it's just all of that.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a lot to unload. Christian.
Yes, sir. I mean, I agree with what Conscious said to a degree. I think it was very distasteful as an artist. I see the artistic part of it, but I also see a part that pushes the envelope and kind of incites violence against people of the community, even though you are trying to or call yourself poking fun at or whatever he called himself doing. I just think at the same time it kind of created an uphill battle that we've already been fighting, especially within our own community. I'm not even talking about outside. I'm talking about just us as a people. And like we spoke about this before, that I just think, we can't just look at him, but there's a machine behind him called a record label and all that ushered pushing this out. So it's not just what he's saying that we need to look at and find problematic, but it's what the label is allowing to be pushed out to the masses as well. So I don't know, it's just not my taste. But.
Okay. King Payne.
Okay, on period. Periana to period. Trash. Complete and total trash, okay? Not only was the song trash, okay, but everything associated with it is trash too. The music video, the shoes, the producers, everybody thought that this was okay. 99.9% of this man's following are all children, okay? So he's pushing this onto the kids. He's pushing, and we should, have, we should respect his religion, okay? He has the right to worship whoever it is that he wants to, but he has to be careful with the influence that he has, not to be out here influencing the kids, you know what I'm saying? Because that video was very suggestive, okay, for one, okay? I'm sure there's a lot of little kids ready to give lap dances to the devil now, not even knowing what's really going on and what he's really trying to push. So I'm not here for it at all, okay? And Lil Nas X needs to be canceled, and that's just so period. And I've been saying from the very beginning, Lil Nas X is not gay, okay?
I don't think so either. Yeah, I don't think so either.
He's not gay. He's not giving anything. He don't give you fashion. He don't give you looks. He don't give you fish. He don't give you none of that.
That doesn't necessarily come with the territory, Payne. There are some gay men that don't give any of those things.
That is true.
No, the gay men that put on women's clothes, bring it. And he not bringing nothing. He basically just put on the clothes and he's what when they be talking about men in a dress, that's a man in a dress.
Explain Caitlyn Jenner.
Just because you put on a dress,
that's an old white man in a dress.
Okay? But he's not, girl. He's not gay. He's saying that. He's a troll. He's just trolling us. He's doing it for clicks. He's doing it for money. Okay? All
But
this is because of money that he's willing to sacrifice your kid. Your kids. Okay?
what video isn't suggestive? What video out there from the WAP video, kids playing Call of Duty, cutting people's heads off, prostitutes in video
All the
games?
videos are suggestive, but none of them are overtly demonic, okay?
But
None
even
of
if
them
it's demonic, it's still suggestive.
Indirectly they are. They may not directly do it, but indirectly they are. And so that's how I feel. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. I don't believe in censorship, so I'm not pushing anything. I just believe that, you know what, though? I will say this. I respect conscious Christian and official kingpins, their opinion. You know,
Right.
I respect their opinion, but my thing is, okay, us talking about it, people clicking on it is doing what he wants the audience to do in the first place. All of those shoes are sold out.
Yeah,
So
in 2 minutes. In 2 minutes.
ship them because Nike just stopped the shipment, okay? No, this is what I want to know because, like I said, my gaydar has never been wrong, okay? And it just don't go. The tennis don't be sparking or nothing when I look at him. I feel like he's gay for pay. Do you guys believe that he's really gay, or is he gay for pay? He's doing.
I don't know. What
I think he's gay. I think he's
I think he's gay.
Okay, he taking beef for dollars.
Look, Bobby Light think he gay. Bobby Light sending them flowers. Bobby Light trying to get up on that.
But you know, I think he's trying to one up.
That's another thing, another way that I know that what's the little boy name? Lil Nas X is not gay because he paid Bobby Light's dust at the Grammys or the MTV. You know what I'm saying? That's just not how you treat your
But all gays are not that close.
want nothing to do with Bobby Light. It's one thing for him to like you, okay, I get that. Y'all don't have to cut, y'all don't have to be that close, you don't have to cut or kiss or nothing. But to act like you don't exist, like, that's not a gay man. He's playing gay to troll us for the dollars, okay? Like, there's no reason for him to act like that towards Bobby Lights. Just because, Bobby Lights, openly attracted to him. Like, you're going to make like you don't.
Wait, hold up. We're not all attracted to each other.
Right. So
that I don't deal with in my real life that
makes sense.
We're not one monolith.
Okay,
What were you gonna say?
Fine. But if I approach you in real life, you could at least say hi, hello. You could wave back, to act like boy don't exist.
Well, we don't know. We don't know if that has happened though.
Maybe he think Bobby Light was gonna take that hate at some more. I don't know.
Well, first of all, Bobby. Let's be very clear. Bobby Light been throwing it at him since he been on the scene. So maybe he just don't like somebody throwing their ass at him.
Maybe he like trade like you like trade, King Payne.
Well, let me just say, I want to just insert this. First of all, don't nobody want that wide ass 18-wheeler turned to the side, long ass boy bussy that Bobby Lights is throwing at any damn body. But two, I do just want to give just a little bit of a balance, because I do hear what a lot of masculine gays are saying, and oftentimes they do complain about the fact that nobody takes them seriously because they are masculine, and so there is no universal monolithic behavior or appearance of queer people. We come in all different shapes and sizes, and some of us don't give culturally what's considered gay at all, and yet we're still same gender loving men or bisexual men or pansexual men. So the Lil Nas X's do exist in the community. And I think maybe that's why, if anything, his label would have kind of went a little bit overboard and trying to feminize him, because he doesn't naturally give what's considered to be gay. So they've had to manufacture the appearance of his sexuality. And he shouldn't have had to do that. You should be able to represent yourself as a masculine gay man if that's what you genuinely are. So it's weird.
Yeah, it's why do you always have to feminize yourself in order to be seen as gay? And if you don't, then that's a problem. Then you're DL or you're this, you're that. It's everybody ain't walking around.
There's a whole spectrum of different types of gay men. We're all different shapes, sizes, persuasions. Listen, I think that we have to be careful of trying to say one particular look is who we are because we pigeonhole ourselves. I think that
And
you
our
have to,
community.
I'm sorry.
The whole
And our
community.
community. Like
Right.
the community.
And I think that we could all, there's different types. There's the Bobby Lights, there's the Lil Nas, there's different types of gay people. And even like in our community, as far as dating apps and stuff, they'll be quick to say no facts, no films. And that's the main, and I've never understood why people would say that. Whereas if I'm not interested in you, I'll just say thank you and keep it moving. Why would I have to say I don't like this particular type? I mean, this type, don't hit me up. What you laughing about, Christian?
No, I mean, because people don't, sometimes they just don't respect, even when you put stuff up, people don't respect it. They still, shoot their shot and still be trying to be like, well, I'm gonna be the one. And it's like, respect people's differences. Respect. Oh, it's a preference. At the end of the day, you may feel it some way about it, but at the end of the day, it is still a preference, and we are allowed to have our own preferences.
And like on here, we have like versatile, we have a questionable top, and we have a versatile top. It's different kinds of us on this panel. But I think that did y'all see what happened with Quavo and Tweety in this elevator?
I seen it.
What did y'all think about that, Christian? What did you think about that?
I mean, I didn't really think anything of it. I mean, I know they were talking about how he beat up on her, but I didn't see that. I mean, I seen him push her, but I didn't see him hit her. I seen that he realized he was in the elevator and the elevator had a camera. I saw he realized that, and maybe that's why he did not, whatever, take it further. But I mean, I've seen worse. Okay, the football player that clearly knocked his wife out and dragged her out like Fred Flintstone out of that elevator. And sorry, but it was just great.
That was ridiculous.
To others, I just don't. I mean, he realized where he was and what possibly could be viewed, and he kind of held back. But again, this is the type of energy and things that we're putting out here, that type of behavior is okay and acceptable. And then when do we stop? Like, when do we start protecting ourselves, our women, our men, so that when we are out in the world, they don't look at us like something that they can discard and kill and it'll be okay. That's my issue.
Because she swung on him first. From what I saw, she clocked him.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Keep your hands to yourself. I don't believe men are physically stronger than women, except some of the women over here in this sector. But I think that you have to be aware that if you hit a man, he's may have a reaction and hit you back. I don't condone violence like that. And I don't think if I'm a man, a woman hit me, I may push her off of me, restrain her and get away from her. But I know me hitting her would be different from, as opposed to another woman hitting her. What did you think, Conscious?
I'm going to piggyback off of what you were saying. I mean, I feel like there's a difference between a man restraining himself and a man being violent toward a woman. If you put your hands on anyone, they have the right to restrain themselves and or even be violent with you. That's a personal choice. I think that him doing what he had to do to kind of disengage her, like I would do the same thing if a woman starts swinging on me. Like if I got to push your ass off, hold your ass down, yank your ass up, keep you from punching me, slapping me, that's what I'm going to do. I don't know what caused the altercation, but women, let me tell y'all something. We living in that gender equality age, and a lot of men are going to use that as an excuse to beat the hell out of your ass if you want to step to a man on some rah shit. And I don't think that is worth it to step to a man on some rah, because some men are raised right and they are going to simply restrain you, and some men are going to put their foot off into a skinny nigga's ass, in the words of Kurt Franklin. So I just say keep it cute, and if To call your brothers, call your uncles, call your daddy for that nigga. Get your daddy on that nigga. Okay.
Okay. Jay Wilson.
Keep your hands to yourself. And if you have to hold a person or grab their hands to restrain them, then do so. Because it's never going to make you look good when you swing on a woman. And I know that it's about this equality, and I hear you, Conscience. It's just good to try to hold their hands and restrain them, since you're going to be stronger for the most part than they are, until you can just get away and move away. But you got to watch it, because some guys are not raised like that, and they're going to clock you. And I'm going to tell you, it won't feel good, and it won't end right. So, yeah.
King Payne.
Okay, on period. Can you ask me the question again?
Oh my God.
The question was about the Quavo and Saweetie incident in the elevator. What did you think of that? Did you observe?
Okay. Yes. This situation right here. Why was they fighting over the PS5 though?
Maybe it was more than a PS5 in that box, I think.
That was a PS5, girl. Quavo was already telling her that he was done with her. He was leaving. She had bought him the PS5. And you know how the niggas, they love to be on the PS5 and stuff like that. So he was getting things together. He was leaving the house. That's how you know a man is serious. When they grab their PS5, when they grab their PlayStation, they serious. He said, no, you're not leaving me. And she tried to snatch the PS5 back. He said, two things the niggas don't play with. They don't play with their PlayStation, and they don't play with their cell phone. Have you ever tried to grab your significant other's cell phone? Okay? They damn near jumped across the damn room and grabbed that phone. See, that's what happened. She had tried to grab the PlayStation, okay? And then he had out-of-body experience, and he snatched it back and swung her into the elevator, and she lost consciousness. Okay, for about 5 minutes.
Saweetie, okay.
She did not lose no consciousness. She just laid there on the floor because she knew that camera was in there recording every minute of it.
She woke up and had a mean limp, though. She was limping hard off that elevator afterwards.
Okay.
Oh, baby.
All over PlayStation, I'm telling you. Y'all, it's going to come out. It's all over the PS5. I'm telling you. It was a Call of Duty box, okay? Now, what kind of grown man have a Call of Duty suitcase?
That don't even
It
make any damn sense.
It was a game console holder. Okay, it was for the PS. Look it up. It's a PS5 case. It's fight over PS5.
Y'all listen, we don't condone violence of any sort unless it's leather and it's a S&M scene. That's the only time I condone something like that. But what about the Derrick Jaxn thing, y'all? That was another thing that happened. Derrick Jaxn. His apology and the wife. What did you think about that whole?
Okay, so I know your follow-up question to this, and I thought that was a really interesting dichotomy. But first of all, you could have taken that bonnet-looking hat off your head. I mean, you could have got yourself together, sis. It was just looked like y'all was playing pickleball 5 minutes ago. I wasn't with it. And so I'm like, and so I'm looking at her, and she looking like she is pissed off, and he looked like he's about to squeeze her hand till her blood pressure went up.
Like blink if you need help.
Okay, I mean, and then he was doing most of the talking, and so it just didn't come off right. And then she got back on the thing talking about how God doing this and y'all. I'm like, no, ma'am. I just, and I just feel sorry for her. And maybe she has to take some time to really realize how she looked. Maybe she'll go back and look at the videotapes later on and say, you know what? I look like a plum fool windmilling for this dude, and he's the one who did this. And then I think they're turning their pain into profit. So, I'm just looking at a lot of this stuff, and I'm just not with it. And if that's what she wants, and if that's what she's trying to portray, then let them do that. But the real situation is going to come out soon enough, and I think she's going to realize that He don't love me. He just needs someone to say he has a wife. People didn't even know the man had. They didn't even know he had a wife.
Mm-hmm.
So that says a lot as well. And I think there's a lot of these men trying to give women and men advice, and I just think they just need to chill out. You said it was the helmet of salvation, okay? Because the thing is, she's a beautiful lady. You know, I've seen her in pictures dressed up and stuff, but I just didn't know why she would just come out. Did he tell her just to come out like this and be plain and you know, because I mean, she was giving me apostolic realness. She was giving me Sunday morning apostolic, okay, wearing a doily on your head realness. I wasn't feeling that. And I'm like, but yeah, he gets to wear what he wants to.
Everything slim cut, just fitting, conscious. What did you think about that?
Derrick Jaxn is trash. Even though he still needs to email me at conscioustv@gmail.com. Derrick Jaxn is just super classic poster child over narcissistic Negro. Like the fact that this man not only spoke in third person during his own reaction video to his own cheating scandal, but then also did his reaction video to his own cheating scandal in front of the mistress's house. Her house was behind him, and
she called him out on that, saying, "You're in front of my house," when she did her video.
Are you okay? So Derrick Jaxn is trash, and it's sad how he like Kevin Featherline these women. It's just ratchet all around, and there's so many talking points. Like, just scooting past that, I also think that even though the messenger is trash, the message is still quality. So everything that he speaks about on his channel is legit and large. Unfortunately, Derrick Jaxn is just a hypocrite and couldn't practice what he was preaching. In terms of the wife is a tip. Like, unfortunately, she is the extremity of what women who have been well grown by patriarchy and religion look like. And even her coming on to camera looking so modest was all an attempt to convince the audience that she is super saved, a super spiritual woman, that she's in the world and not of the world. And unfortunately for me, I believe that she uses the scripture to hide behind being a weak woman. Like the fact that she's allowing God and forgiveness to really accommodate her husband's infidelity and just bullcrap is really an insult to the scriptures. God did not support people walking into the belly of the beast, and this is what this woman is like misinterpreting the scriptures to motivate her to do, all because she refuses to have a real woman-to-woman conversation in the mirror and say, you know what, I have to have some issues and I don't know where they come from. I don't know what in me would allow me to accommodate a man who will openly humiliate me in this way. It is one thing for a man to fall once. It is different when your man is falling every other day. And you cannot make an executive decision to put some proper boundaries and distance between you and this enemy, because you're talking about the devil, baby. You waking up right next to him. You sleeping with the damn enemy. So nobody want to hear your ass talking about God and the devil and salvation when you literally accommodating hell. So I'm going to just say they need to get it together. Okay.
Christian.
Throw the whole damn couple away. First and foremost, he did nothing less than what he's been taught by the ministers he's been watching. Okay, so that's all that was a bunch of Sunday morning preaching with the secrets and the things he was telling all behind the scenes, having this whole mess. I think that was a setup to have her even dress like that, to excuse for people to look at it and go, well, I understand why he was cheating. Look how she dressed. And then for her to come back, okay, and talk about how her bonnet was the cap of salvation or some BS, and that her army fatigue shirt was the breastplate of righteousness. Wake the fuck up. Your man has made a vow to you and God to be only with you until death do you part. And he violated an oath he made to God and you and the rest of your peoples. He violated that.
And had the nerve to talk about John Gray when he was going through his situation.
Well, but I mean that is expected.
It takes one to know
Course,
one real
right,
well.
that's what I'm saying. That's expected because, of course, I'm not gonna not. I'm not gonna not talk about you and point your shit out because then that keeps the heat off me. You know what I'm saying? For people to notice that I'm doing dirt. But this is the problem. We and like you said, Conscious, unfortunately the message he was giving out to some is valid. But just like the church and the ministers in the damn church, the people giving the message are just as filthy, low down, dirty, gross and disgusting, need to be on their face just like they tell you to be on your face and in your closet praying and all this other BS. They need to be doing the same exact thing instead of always sitting here pointing the finger. But I mean,
they're not co-laborers, Christian. They are shepherds, but they don't get the co-laborer situation where you are amongst everyone else.
Yeah, but you can't. But you can you truly be a shepherd if you're not familiar with, huh?
It's irresponsible.
If you're not
right, pull up from the inside out.
Right. If you're not living your life as the shepherd to really be an example, then what the fuck are you doing? Mm-hmm. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. It's okay. You're passionate about it.
No, it's irritating. And then it's like, you get these, especially when the women are then defending, and well, he has to answer to God for that. No, he has to answer to you. He made a vow to you and God.
Now, what if she would have cheated on him? I bet it would have been a whole different.
That man with muscles and all would have been crying, snot nosing. Oh my God, she ruined my life.
Derrick Jaxn would have been on the first episode of First 48. She would have been dead in the
all of it. For what? For what? Okay. But this is the reality that a lot of men have been taught, that it is okay. It is manly. It is definitely a sign of manhood for you to have a wife, have girlfriends, people on the side. You sitting up there impregnating all these women and thinking, oh yeah, I'm a man because look at me. Because that's been drilled in him. And that's the problem. Like, you need to get out that space. Like, stop teaching our men and young boys to be that way. If they're just interested in one woman and want to be with that one woman, support that and leave it alone. Just because your ass out here sticking your nasty little penis in other people,
is it little?
No, it's real big. It got pounds on it. It got weight on it.
I hope no one sends it to Darkson X1X at Yahoo. Don't send me that to my email. King Payne, what's your stance on it?
Okay, period. Puriana to the period. I just feel like, and I haven't done all the research on this Derrick Jaxn thing, but I just feel like we all play the fool sometimes. And I see a lot of people like, oh, why don't you leave him? And I see a lot of people criticizing the girlfriend or what have you. But I just, when it comes to relationships, people aren't going to leave until they're good and ready, okay? So she probably just not good and ready right now, okay? And she's here for it, so. And I can't really blame her at all.
It's called low self-esteem.
Very
like that before.
You know what? Just seeing her, y'all. I'll let you go. What Conscious? What were you going to add to that?
No, she should be more considerate because the last mistress that Tasha K interviewed was a whole Jamaican American surgeon who was riding the dick raw in the parking lot, and I'm just like, you out here.
One of them women said that
these women are protected less than a month, and the wife, I think the wife needs to get out of a bubble. Like, there's real life consequences to accommodating infidelity from a man.
But this has happened in the church all along, and this is no different. And you know what? I know church women just like her, and that's the sad part about it. And
how much you want to bet?
So earthly bound to they're no earthly good, and can't see stuff because I got a good man. This is a man of God. He wouldn't do this, baby. Please,
And even just the whole thing. When I saw her, I was like, her whole demeanor, what she gave me was someone that would fit right in with Nature Boy. She would fit right in with that type of mindset of
Nation.
following a man, just back the whole Jim Jones type of follower. Just, I need a man to tell me where to go, where should I sleep, how to dress, how to think, when I should have sex. Just mindless.
My last word of thought: stay away from these churches that have single ministries, because I believe that's where they met. Stay out of these single ministry things, because they ain't nothing but a whole bunch of foolery trying to tell you God has put y'all together in this church and you're just gonna stick to it.
Christian Mingo.
Stay away. God is trying to tell you something. I'm
gonna add can I add to that real quick?
Sure.
I would say if you're looking for a really healthy-minded, humble, gracious, loving man, stay away from men with power. I truly am coming to understand and believe that power truly does corrupt, and there's very few people who are equipped to have wealth, have popularity, have fame, and be able to keep their soul intact. I think this is why the scriptures are clear that what does it profit a man to gain the world and then to lose his damn soul? Because oftentimes want to be the outcome for most people when they come into power, especially men who are conditioned and programmed to already believe that they are entitled to power and control and dictatorship. And now you've given men who already are programmed to be entitled to this the actual resources to be in power. I don't think that this is for healthy women. And just look at everything that these men in power are putting women through. Look at how T.I. got Tiny, busted it open in foursomes and sixsomes and eightsomes, all because he's a man of power. Like, look at the perverse nature, or look at the Harvey Weinsteins and the Jeffrey Epsteins, and just how sick people get when they come into more than really what they're prepared to really handle. Because as Kanye West said, no one man should ever have all that damn power. That power fucking corrupts. And I feel like if you're going to be with a man who got power, his ass needs to be in church 6 days out of the damn week, consecrating himself, because that's the only way I would trust a man with power is if he is before God 20 out of the 24 damn hours out of a damn day. And I'm going to shut up.
You know what? That's the perfect segue into the next topic, which is Mr. Kevin Samuels. Now, Kevin Samuels, first off, we're going to talk about the guy that called in and he berated this guy. He asked the guy how tall he was. What kind of, wait, Christian, what are you saying?
No, I'm saying he didn't. He told the truth. Like, we need to get out of a space where in which if you ask someone, like, you know, what do you think? That person, you know, a lot of the times our friends lie. Okay, our friends and family lie and, you know, kind of tell you what you want to hear. Sometimes that outside person who does not know you and hold you no alliance or no kind of sugarcoating will just tell you how it is. And that's just what the man did. I didn't see nothing wrong with it. I mean, he was a bit delusional in himself, but, you know, it's whatever. But you asked for the advice. You can't ask for it and then expect somebody to what? Give it to you nicely so you can take it and go, oh, thank you. I feel so great. No. He gave it to him exactly how he deserves it. I mean, of course, some of us don't know how to take delivery. I am one that I'm not a great deliverer, but I know that about myself. But my point still stands, and I don't ever apologize for what I said to you. How I said it, maybe, but what I said, no, you know, I meant that. So, you know, it's just don't ask for something if you can't. Don't ask for something if you can't truly take what is coming with it.
Jay?
You know what? I wouldn't have called in. And I think there's a thing with delivery, but I think you can, you know, be tactful. You know, treat people how you want to be treated. And I'll leave it at that.
Conscious?
Oof. Well, for one, at least Kevin Samuels is fair because he got dragged for the way that he did that black woman. So I'm at least happy that he had that same smoke for men as well. For two, though, I think that this is kind of fundamentally what makes women different from men is that if you're going to ask a man for his opinion, expect the literal, expect the facts, expect the scientific, expect the objectivity. So Kevin Samuels is laying out the it's your weight, it's your hair, it's your whatever, it's your diet, whatever the case may be. Women are the nurturers. Because see, that's why Kevin Samuels' perspective is so polarizing to people. Is because it's one side of the truth. It's like, yes, we live in a literal world. There are literal beauty standards. Unfortunately, people buy into these standards. So he's acknowledging that the standard exists, and he's saying to people, look, okay, for those of you who want this that comes with that, you need to look like this, you need to be like this, you need to earn this kind of money. But it's also important for the feminine to be a part of that dialogue too, because we also need to transcend the surface and also talk about what it just simply means to love people and to be attracted to more than just the objective, what it means to also find somebody who has a nice personality, who you can laugh with, who also loves you, who also humbled. And so, but generally when it comes to men, men are kind of one track minded in that way. They kind of just want to deal with the surface and the A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, and women, not so much. So, it's interesting, but once again, if you're going to go to Kevin Samuels, you are going to get the technical. Like, he's going to give you the manual. He don't care about your feelings. He don't care about the mushy, gooey stuff. He's going to give you, okay, you say your transmission is broke. This is how we technically repair the transmission. And so he's going to remove all the things that the rest of us are used to including, which is the lovey-dovey spiritual, but what about the humanity and the ethics and the morals of it all? So he's kind of extreme and toxic in that way, but somebody here for it, unfortunately.
Okay. King Payne?
Absolutely. Okay, period. I actually feel the opposite kind of from conscious. I feel like the reason that this Kevin guy is so polarizing is because he's telling the truth and because most men don't. You know what I'm saying?
But that's the same thing he's saying. Conscious said that.
Mm-hmm. I said it.
No, he said that most men tell the truth. He said something to that effect when you ask men stuff to tell you the truth. I don't know no man that tell you the truth like that. Okay,
I said he gonna tell you the facts.
Right. He said
no, the person that we're speaking of tells the facts, but men in general do not. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I figure that's the reason why that person, Derrick or whatever, Kevin, Tom, Hank, whatever his name is,
I need a drink.
The reason
Kevin Samuels
is because he's so real with his truth, and I just don't hear you.
But I would like to see him get grilled or him in the situation, because people.
That's going to take us to the next question. Okay? The next topic is with Kevin Samuels. Now, Kevin Samuels is giving everybody this relationship advice, and he's just people go to him. But this man has two failed marriages, and then he had nerve enough to get on there and tell men the 4 ways. If you're gonna cheat on your wife, the 4 ways of cheating, the 4 rules to follow is no outside kids, no divorce, don't embarrass your woman, and don't have any financial strain on your primary family.
Yeah,
now, you told a man this.
But what's wrong with that? I mean, it's factual though.
But it's like, why are you encouraging?
But that's the thing. It's not about encouraging. This is the thing where we need to start taking responsibility. And if you hear something, just because somebody says it, don't mean you got to take it on. And a lot of times, because a lot of people say things, we instantly take it on and be like, okay, I got to be this way. I got to do this. Sometimes, you take out, it's almost like anything. You take out what doesn't apply to you and you use what does apply.
Well, this is the thing. Talk about your failed marriages and talk about your mistakes and tell people what you did wrong. It's easy to sit there.
Who would say he did something wrong a lot of times?
I didn't finish. It's easy to say that, you know, you need to do this, you need to do that, and you need to do the third, and so on and so forth. And that's great. But let us know some of your mistakes. Let us know what you did and what caused that to happen. Share that, because what I'm hearing is I'm the guru, I know all, and I'm going to strike you down because of what you've done. Let's get transparent and say, you know, these are some mistakes that I made, and this is why I bring this out. This is why I've learned this, and so on and so forth. Like I said, you know, I just have an issue with people who don't make mistakes, or and it's another Derrick Jaxn thing. I mean,
but he's never said he don't make mistakes. He's never said that.
He gives the
but what he gives is what you interpret. That doesn't mean he's said.
I just don't think that.
Is he any different from Derrick Jaxn? They seem to me two peas in a pod.
Just one is more motivational, and the other one is just more Gino, what's his name? Reverend Gino, what's his name? Who always telling people how wrong they are. I just think. Gino Jennings. I just think that, you know what, if you really want to know, go to a therapist, go to somebody who's licensed and certified, who can help you unravel and get to the real deep processes of it. I'm not dealing with these folk who, no.
What's your stance on it, Conscious?
What's the question again?
What did you feel? How do you feel about Kevin Samuels giving people relationship advice, you know, of the men, and he has two failed marriages? Yeah.
Well, I think so. The question in and of itself is kind of problematic because it suggests that, like, what the question, because I think you had the question set up, like, how was the question? How was the question like set up in the email and the text? Because that's the way it was.
He says men with money should cheat. Your thoughts on this? Should women with money cheat as well?
Is that the question?
Yeah, but I changed it up a little.
No, it's the other question. I thought this question was the other question you had down on the docket about like, should, if you have 4 failed relationships. So that's not
no, that's gonna come later.
Okay, I got it. I mean, well, as Captivating Christian said, I mean, like, just to give the man some credit, I mean, you know, he's never posed himself as some good do boy like Derrick Jaxn has. So he's not really being hypocritical in that way. But I think that what would make it helpful is if he would be more nuanced about why his own relationships have broken down and what he's learned from that experience, and giving that information and data to other men, other husbands, etc., or even to other women. Is he qualified? Yeah, I mean, because even when you bring up the issue of therapists, I mean, a lot of them hoes is divorced as well, and 2 times divorced, and so, you know, I think we're gonna, unfortunately, we don't like the idea of people being hypocrites, but we are going to have to learn to separate the feedback and the information from the actual presenter, because oftentimes the presenters will be hypocritical and flawed and frail themselves. But we still have to, like, find the information valuable. Like when I was growing up and my mom was saying, I don't want you to smoke cigarettes as she's puffing on a Newport, that was even though really she's a fucking hypocrite. But the information is what it is. And so I think we got to be mature enough to just extrapolate the information and leave the messengers, you know.
I'm going to say who was responsible for his failed marriages. He may have been responsible for one, and maybe the woman was responsible for another. We don't know.
Reflection, action, reflection. That's what therapists do. Reflect on what you've done. And your action. And that's why I say go to one of those, because they have to go through continuous.
Okay, but he's not a therapist, so we can't.
So my thing is, personally, I wouldn't go to him.
Well, that's you. But I'm just saying, for the people that watch him and listen to him, he's not a therapist. So know that he is not a therapist. He's giving his opinion.
It's great. It's great. If that's what they do, and that's good. It's great. I'm good. If he's great and he's good, I'm good with it.
King Payne, what do you feel about that? What's your stance on it?
To the Fury I feel like, you know, like they said, he's gone through 2 marriages. You know what I'm saying? 2 divorces, which means that he's been through 2 marriages, which kind of makes him like an expert when most people feel like he should only be in one marriage. and he's also a man of God. So why would he not be qualified to give out relationship advice when he's going through 2 marriages? I'm sure he's been in several relationships before he was in these marriages, and he's also a man of God, which means he knows the word, he knows the purpose of a marriage, and that you should try to stay in one. So the fact that he's gone through 2 divorces and he's a minister, no, it means that he has a lot of experience. He's gone through a lot of trial and error. He tried to being a minister means that you tried to make this work, because they don't necessarily believe in divorces. So each of these marriages, he went through a lot to try to keep them together. So I think that if he ain't an expert, he's next to it, and that's just on period. Most people don't be divorced that many times, okay?
And you know what? Even like with my grandmother's sister, she was trying to tell me that boy out there, he being managed, he shouldn't be having sex. And I'm like, well, this Wayne was having sex when she was 14. Didn't you get married at 14 and have 8 kids? And you telling me I can't get my rocks off at 12? Hypocrite much?
Well, maybe but looking at that, maybe if she told you why you shouldn't be having sex, because maybe I wouldn't be in some of the places that I've been in, and I don't want you to repeat my mistakes.
And it did stop me for like 2 weeks, and I held on and didn't do it. Do y'all think that Jada Pinkett Smith and Derrick Jaxn, what's the difference? Are we harder on men when it comes to cheating? Is there a difference between Jada Pinkett Smith and Derrick Jaxn? Those 2 instances, is there a difference? Are we harder on men or are we harder on women? King Payne?
Jada had permission. That's the difference, okay? Jada got permission first, okay? Will said, do something with that, okay? They were very much so, like, not together. They was going through some things. They were separated, and if things just kind of got out.
You're still married. You still married. That doesn't make
every couple go through things, okay, and they experiment, they mess around, they invite others in.
No, that's bullshit.
It's one of those situations.
That is pure bullshit.
Rocky, and they were taking some time apart, okay? When he allowed Jada, both of them were allowed to go out and see if there was something else that they may have wanted, and that's just no period.
Thank you, Tisa, for the super chat.
I'm
gonna do a look. There you go. I'm seeing you showing your little chest. Okay, Christian.
Total BS. I mean, I just believe, women are treated harshly than men for cheating, because it is, quote unquote, a man's thing to cheat. Oh, he's going to go out and cheat. He's going to go out and find another one. So that is acceptable. And I'm not talking about society as a whole. Again, I'm talking about us because we're Black. In the Black community, that is acceptable. You may not like it, but even if you went to your boyfriend's or husband's mother, she would be like, well, baby, man is going to be a man. And that BS. It's BS because women do it. And they are looked at as whores and sluts, all that kind of stuff. But a man do it, that's just a man being a man. Come on, cut it. Yeah. Cut it. It's ridiculous. At this point, it is ridiculous how we honor the man for, sowing his oats, even after he's supposed to already had done that and committed himself to whomever. Yet a woman does it and it's, even if she's got permission. Listen, separation is not a divorce. Separation just means I'm in one house, you in another. But legally, but all intents and purposes, we are still married. So if you're violating it, then you're violating the marriage, period.
But you know what, Jada and Will, I don't think that they gave us the perception of being a perfect couple. Derrick Jaxn was preaching to people about their relationships and how to stay on the right path.
But nobody knew he was married.
No one, but we knew that Jada and Will were married. But we knew there was problems in their relationship. Jada with Derrick, we didn't even know, like you said, we didn't know he was married, but he was a hypocrite. I never got hypocrite from Jada and Will.
I agree.
What's your stance, Jay?
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with Christian saying, well, you're married. But the question is, the difference between Derrick Jaxn and Jada Pinkett. Well, Jada and Will probably had an understanding. I think Will got upset because somebody brought it up again. It was more embarrassment.
Like that with them red eyes.
but I just think that Jada and Will were not trying to be the perfect couple, and Red Table Talk is very transparent. They talk about a lot of stuff that doesn't always put them in the best light. So I think that people give that a pass because they're just being real upfront, and they're not trying to say this is the best way. This is what we did. Where you have somebody saying, well, this is what you need to do, and so on and so forth. And Jada didn't have to go through a whole situation and somebody breaking it down. We talked about it, but not like this situation. So I think that's the difference between Jada and Will. They had that understanding. I may not agree with their marriage, but if that's what they want to do, and that's what they have said amongst themselves, and they want a polyamorous type of thing, then who am I? I don't want that type of marriage, but they want it, and yeah.
Conscious?
Definitely think that there's no comparison between Jada Pinkett Smith and her relationship to Will and Derrick Jaxn, simply because, as it was said here today, they agreed to take time apart emotionally, mentally, spiritually to go find themselves. That also included Will being able to go and explore and do what he needed to do to find himself. People can slap a lot of definitions on marriage, but marriage ultimately comes down to what the couple agrees to. So if they liked it, then I loved it. In terms of men and women, I think that there's obviously definitely a double standard. One of the real issues with what's at the root of the double standard is the fact that women are conditioned to be property and men are conditioned to be the owners of that property. And this is why the double standard exists. This is why a woman can atone for a lot of the infidelity and sins of a man, but a woman doing exactly that will lead to her murder, will lead to her being injured severely.
Stoned in some countries. I mean,
because you're literally infringing upon the entitlement and the sense of power that a lot of men, once again, believe that they're entitled to. And so the consequences for women doing the same things in relationships that men get away with are far more brutal and far more consequential. And so dismantling that toxicity and that patriarchy and really just creating a safe space for women and balancing out these conversations and getting rid of this power, getting rid of these erroneous ideologies and the way that we socialize men and the way that we socialize women. This thing is going to really equal the playing field here. But yeah, it's definitely a double standard.
Payne, I asked you this question, right? Didn't you go first? Okay. So now the next question, guys, is does 4 or more failed relationships mean that it may be your fault, that you had 4 failed relationships? Does 4 or more failed relationships your entire life mean that you're the problem? Payne?
No. I think that everybody that you come in contact with, you're supposed to learn something from. Some people are just in your life for a season. So just because you're dating and the relationship doesn't go, doesn't lead to marriage, doesn't mean that you're a failure or, that you're the problem. It just means that you haven't found the right person yet. And you should get back out there. You should keep fishing, okay, until you find Mr. or Mrs. Right. And that's just on period. Because a pussy hole could never be single for their whole life, okay? They're going to be single their whole life, hoping and wishing, hoping and praying that somebody come and find them and swoop them up. But it ain't going to happen if you stuck in the house. We got to get off this quarantine. We got to keep our hands sanitized close, okay? We got to wash our hands and feet and all the stuff, okay? And make sure that we prepare physically, emotionally, mentally for a man or woman, whatever you prefer. And that's just on period.
Christian?
We'll have to go after that. No, I don't agree. But also, like King Payne said, it's all about learning. It's a learning experience. You should be taking note of yourself and how you were treated and how you treated others in every relationship. You should not just be going through relationships, not really paying attention to the part you may have played in it. I think that's the only way you develop, the only way you grow, the only way you actually find a relationship that sticks with you. Because it's just paramount that we do that. Like, I really don't understand how we pop from relationship to relationship without really having that downtime to realize who was at fault, what did I play, what did I do, where did I fall short in support, or where did I fall short in just being there and being present. A relationship is work, but it is dual work. It's like you have to do the work too, and the person likewise has to do work. So we need to get to a better place.
Jay?
I would recommend people read Zora Neale Hurston's book, Their Eyes Were Watching God, because the first marriage she went into is because her daddy made her go and marry that man because it was stability, and he beat her. And then the second man she married, she thought she loved him, but it was still security because he was a wealthy man, but he was very jealous, and he didn't want her to go and meet and mingle other people. And so he died. And the third man didn't have a whole lot of money, and she just loved him. And unfortunately, he died of rabies when a dog bit him, and then she came back single. And all I'm saying is, first of all, a lot of people, Donnie McClurkin, a lot of people ain't married because, or trying to get married because they feel pressure by people and organizations to get married so they can have an image.
Donnie McClurkin.
They don't get married for love. They get married because somebody told them they should. So I think sometimes it can be the person, but sometimes it can be circumstances. So, sometimes it can be youth and you're young, and then you grow and say, you know what? I really didn't do crap. I didn't really see crap because I lived your dream and I didn't get to even experience my own life. So, I think it's a mixture of both.
Okay. Conscious?
I think the question is really too general because the dice are really loaded in that question. Two things are birthed out of this question. I think what can be problematic about the question in and of itself is this. So relationships require two people, not one. And in the instances of plenty of people's lives, they've been doing the right thing, yielding to the right thing, and have nothing to do with their partner's infidelity, or have nothing to do with their partner being abusive, have nothing to do with their partner stealing money, or whatever the problems become. And so I think being able to realize and accept that there are actual innocent people in the earth. There are good people. It reminds me, it's kind of like asking the person who's being bullied, what role did you play in being bullied? Maybe I played no damn role in being bullied. Am I really responsible for people preying on me? Am I really responsible for someone wanting to abuse me, or even lying to me and deceiving me so that they can get close enough to me in order to hurt me? Of course, I'm not directly responsible for what someone else has done. And if you live long enough, you're not going to be able to have some immunity to encountering really bad people. You're going to get associated with really bad people. But I think on the other end, as Captivating Christian was talking about, it is always important to always, regardless of the situation, to sit back and evaluate if you also contributed to your relationship problems. generally speaking, is always a two-person situation that made the problems what they were. But there also are good-hearted people who are just being taken advantage of, unfortunately, and nobody ever taught them how to defend themselves against a predator or how to recognize somebody who's trash, because maybe you watched people in your life, good people in your life, accommodate trash people. And so maybe the only fault is that I'm ignorant and don't know how to avoid trash ass people. But are you always responsible for a shitty friendship? No. If your friend is shitty, that doesn't mean you are shitty too. If your mama is trash, it don't mean you're trash too. No, like you don't always have something to do with other people's experience and other people's behavior.
Yeah, but your job is to, once you've gone through that, recognize that,
right,
and then be able to be like, okay, hold it, I already see you coming. Thanks, but no thanks. You know what I'm saying? It's not to go through it again. It's to have gone through it the one time, recognize it, and go, well,
and you learn something from each relationship that you're in for the next one. Pain.
I was the first person to answer this question.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, conscious is long-winded. Hell, I be forgetting.
What? I'm pretty sure I answered that one. Okay.
But y'all, you know, but I think that you learn from each relationship, and sometimes, you know, you may have to kiss a bunch of frogs before you find that prince. And you know, you live and you learn. I think it's crazy if you continuously date the same kind of person that's problematic, or you know, you just meet people and you learn from your last relationship what you won't tolerate, and you just you evolve as a person.
Sometimes people date their daddy, and sometimes people date their mama, and I think that a lot of
I dated someone that looked like his mama.
Well, but family systems have you know, so it has a lot to play into it. Well, so I'm like Conscious TV. There are a lot of factors, and sometimes it is the person. Sometimes it is the person. Sometimes it is not the person. I mean, so you just don't know. You know, sometimes, you know, people can be different people, and that's why I believe in long engagements. At least get to know the person 1 year to establish who you are, and then the next year maybe, you know, to really get seriously into it. And that's why I believe in serious counseling as well, because that person may look good until you find out they got money issues. And they credit all jacked up and y'all can't get no house. I mean, see, that causes problems as well. And we can laugh at it, but I've known people to get divorced because money is the biggest reason why people get divorced for the most part.
Yeah.
And even, you know, because I've dated and I get to know people, and I had to get out of that mindset. Sometimes I could be like a cat with a toy. My attention span will be like, okay, you know what? He's irritating. He's too clingy. And one guy I dated, it was a perfect relationship until I slept with one of his friends, and that made it not work. This was years ago.
I usually do it.
Yeah, I think that
noticed
us breaking up.
I've also noticed that a lot of promiscuous people are quick to feel like somebody's being clingy. It's very interesting.
Well, you know what? So do you feel like people's doing clingy? Are they clingy? Right. But
I mean, I feel people are clingy sometimes,
but you know what? And listen, that was years ago. You can meet, you live, and you learn. And I learned you can't sleep with someone.
You said a year ago?
Years ago, I learned you can't sleep with someone's friends. And I was like about 18, y'all, 17 or 18. So it was like about 6 years ago. But okay, y'all. Now the next topic.
Maybe you were too young for that. You know,
I was, and that's what it was, and I still am sometimes. Okay, now is it disrespectful to tell your significant other or spouse you need to lose some weight? Is that disrespectful? Now, I'm going to ask you, Jay, because you've been up and down like Janet Jackson going for a movie. Now, what?
You know what? No, let me say this, because I've had that conversation with the person I'm with, and they loved me when I was thin, and they love me now because it was more than this. So I don't have those problems. So if you have other attributes besides the body and throwing whatever and throwing WAP or whatever, maybe you can keep them. But I will say this: I know that my significant other, we encourage each other to go, and I like his approach to say, you know what, whatever you decide to do, I'm here to support you, and I can appreciate that support. And
what
so,
about you?
So thank you. I knew I would get the question first, so I was ready for the answer.
You are still in a relationship. People been wanting to know because we haven't been hearing you talk about your men's lately. Because you normally talk about your men's. So Jay Wilson and his men's is still together.
What do you sense in your spirit?
I don't know. I haven't heard you talk about it.
Okay, then.
I'm always talking about him carrying on, girl. Okay. I don't know, but you just said something about your significant other. But
Well, you may have gotten your answer.
See, the girls always want to carry on and stuff like that. They want to carry on and stuff like that.
King Payne, I'm gonna let the people in LA or whatever you doing these days ask you them tough questions. Bro.
King Payne, what's your stance on it? What do you think is disrespectful?
Actually, it just depends. It depends because if it depends, okay. If there was fat when you met him, okay, you fell in love with the fat them, okay, you need to accept them being fat throughout the whole relationship. Now, if you met them looking fine and stuff like me and things, not that you can't be fine and fat, but I'm just saying.
Oh wait, hold up. I want to thank. I'm sorry. Hold up for a second. Libra Butterfly, thank you for the super chat. I'm sorry, Cedric. Thank you also for the super chat. The conversation's been. I'm sorry, King Payne.
Cedric can't do a coin.
Like I was saying, when they look all good and stuff like this, okay, up here, and they gain a little weight or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Then maybe you be like, girl, baby, like, boo, significant other, whatever you call your significant other, you know what I'm saying? You should tell them, in a polite way, okay, that you're getting a little hefty, you know what I'm saying?
I'll be like, when you get on top of me, you squash me into the bed. I can't breathe when you're on top of me.
To suggest ways, suggest solutions. Maybe we work out together. Maybe we diet together. It's very much, if you have a problem with it, then it's very much so both of our problem. Okay, and that's just no period. If you want me to lose some weight, we're gonna have to do it together. And that's just no period. Okay, that's just no period. Or else.
Christian.
I mean, to be honest, if you're with the person and you trust the person, then if they tell you whatever they tell you, obviously you trust them. So I don't see the big deal. Like, I mean, if you're in a relationship with someone, you obviously trust them to be honest with you and forthcoming with you. So if they tell you, hey, babe, getting a little, we need to lay off the fast food or whatever, then why not trust it? I mean, as long as it's not coming from a disrespectful place, then you trust it. And therefore, if y'all work out together, like King Payne was just saying, like you work out together, you do stuff together, all right, cool. That will actually help your relationship and help you kind of develop more of a team working kind of thing than it just being, I'm in the relationship and, he's doing whatever. But again, it starts with trust, and almost like how people say training starts at home. It starts with trust. You build that, and that's what you create. So if you trust in this man or this woman or whatever to be with, then trust that they have your best interests at heart, and that whatever got them to you is what keeps them. But yeah, they still want to see. They still want to see you shine. Like I don't want to be with nobody that, I got him or her, so I'm gonna just let myself go. No, because I got you while you were. I was attracted to you being together, you being you. So don't change up because now you think you got me and you like, oh, well, good. I can relax now. No. Keep it up because I'm gonna keep me up for you. I'm not gonna, let myself go and be like, it's whatever because I have you. Like, no, I want to make sure I'm good for you too. So when you looking at me or when we out together, you feel like, damn, that's him. So
It
You
ain't
got
my
a
fault
trophy
your
piece.
metabolism is faster than mine. Okay?
Excuse me.
It ain't my fault that
Well,
you
right.
just naturally skinny. It ain't
Well,
my
I
fault
mean,
that your
there's
metabolism is faster than mine.
well. First of all, there's stuff you could do to speed up your metabolism, okay? And there's
And
stuff
there's
you
stuff
can,
that you
and
can
there's
do,
stuff you can, and there's
child.
stuff you can stop doing to slow it down. So
And
I
there's stuff that
mean,
you can start doing to even it out. Okay?
I
Okay?
what, but that's what I am doing. If I'm laying it, but if I'm laying it down and we both sweating, I'm trying to even it out. But
Uh-oh.
if you going behind me and still getting the fast food and doing all that, then you're not helping the situation. Again, teamwork makes the dream work. All right. So
Okay?
Okay.
And
You
you
are
have
a
to
team
agree. If
player.
I was going out sneaking
that's
food
it.
behind your back, that's not being a team player. You
Exactly. And you're violating the team. And as the coach and head owner of the team, we're gonna have a problem.
Conscious, do you think it's disrespectful for someone to suggest losing weight? Do you think, how do you feel about that?
I think it's only respectful to tell your mate to lose weight if it is a actual health concern and if it's getting in the way of y'all's actual sex life, like the actual capacity of your partner. Do I want your big ass coiling and coiling around on me and reverse cowgirl and busting the goddamn box springs open and ish trying to ride me and I'm
The
having
mattress all sunk in on one side.
and I'm trying to have
There's
and I'm
ways
having
around
a
it.
goddamn bed spring every damn 6 months? No. But
There's ways around it.
but outside of that, I don't believe that you should ever tell your partner to lose weight over something superficial like attraction, because I feel like by the time you claiming to be in love with me, that love is supposed to be really about who I am more so than it even being about what I look like. And so I don't think it's proper to tell your mate to lose weight so that you can look good. I mean, I've been like in one of my relationships, like my dude went from a pretty boy to an inmate to Fat Albert to there's lots of various physical changes he went through over a 5.5 year period. And it never changed my attraction because I was actually in love with my partner. I was still turned on by my partner, regardless of all of those physical transitions. And so outside of a health issue, outside of it getting away with the sex life, it's just like I'm not gonna tell my partner to lose weight. If they like it, they gotta look in the mirror at it. I mean, I love you deeper than what now is the physical, so it's not a problem for me.
And you know what? Even
gain a lot of weight like that is usually deeper psychological issues or some kind of depression going on.
But
for them to gain that much weight.
can I correct this question just real quick?
Sure.
Well, conscious, why would it not be a problem in sex? Why would it be a problem in sex if it's not a problem just like?
Because I don't want to have to lift 600 plus pounds up in the air.
But that's selfish.
Because I don't always want to have sex with you in missionary. I'm going to need some practicality when it comes to look. The sex life ain't gonna last forever. Now we can get fat as hell at that 60, 80 mark when it's over and ain't nobody got no sex drive. But sex life and health, everything else is a no-go. Now,
so this is why you talk to your partner, and this is why you find out who they are before you get with them. Period. Because everybody ain't for you, and you ain't for everybody.
That's true. But you know what? I think that it was the opposite for me. It was a big guy, and he approached me, and I was like, "Oh, he seems sweet, but he's a little too hefty for me." He was, he was a country. He wasn't country thick, but he was big. But when he put my hand on that piece, I was like, "Oh, he's not that bad. He kind of cute."
But I was about to say, why would his weight matter? If
we stayed together for 2 years, and we started jogging. We would ride bikes together, and I realized that it has to be more than just physical. Because a pretty box can be empty inside. It can be pretty, all wrapped up, and have no personality, have no character. Just you're pretty, but you're hollow. So yeah, it's more than
And you
Can you
know what?
highlight TC's comment in the comment section? Can you highlight that comment? I'm screaming.
Okay, hold on. Is that it?
I can't move like like, in the words of Whitney Houston's character on Wedding Break House, and I'm a keeper at the damn zoo.
But on a serious, I know a guy who went to the gym on a daily. I mean, and people were just so struck with him, and he was with someone, and then he had a stroke and couldn't go to the gym anymore. And guess what? Now he's depressed because all of those people were with him because of his physical attributes, including his partner. And I'm not saying that's everyone, but that's what he lived for. And he didn't expect to have a stroke.
And life has obstacles. Life has things, curveballs.
Right. And that all is true. But again, I can't put that all on the man because that has a lot to do with the people that was running to him too. You know what I'm saying? You was running to him.
But it takes you to the first point. That's why
you were running to him for a reason. And then when he was stricken with that, I don't want to be bothered. So then you wasn't really, you had your own agenda too. And I realized that, it's people are just shallow.
Yeah, but the thing is, if they get too big, if we'd have been together and you were slim when I met you, first off, it's a health concern for me because you roll over and squash my ass while I'm asleep. My legs are going to hurt if I have to get on top of you. I can't spread my legs that wide. I'm 5'7" and 145.
Well, first of all, if the piece ain't changed, what difference does it make?
It's a health if he gets too big, I'll work out with you, but because one day, listen, it may be a car accident. I could be in a wheelchair. He could be in a wheelchair. But if you're getting big because you're eating a lot, you're making yourself go in that direction.
And Vita, if I did, that's my business. But I don't see a problem with that.
So I'm going to have to roll you in flour to find the wet spot?
You wouldn't have to roll. I wouldn't. First of all, I wouldn't have to roll nobody in flour to find the wet spot because I can make it wet regardless. But that's not.
Y'all hear that?
The point is, it doesn't matter, how big the person is. Like, if you love the person, you love the person, and you just deal with what you deal with. But your concern should be making sure the person is healthy, so that way they can live.
They go to the doctor and they're healthy.
Yeah, so if they go to the doctor and they're healthy, if they're 400 pounds, if they go to the doctor and they're 400 pounds and the doctor say they're healthy, we're going to be together with your 400-pound ass. Just make sure it's sit right. Make sure it's sit right and it's not sloppy. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
I just want to say this, though. First of all, Elisa, that's the only way I want to go out, too, baby, is on time.
Okay.
But I do want to say too, just to add a little balance, just to make sure that like the spirit of fat phobia don't creep up into the conversation. For those arguing that there should be a health concern, we need to make sure that like being slim don't mean that you're any more healthier than your 600 pound partner either. So like we can't, so a person can't have all that to say about and I'm concerned about your health when we know that it's Black men out here who are 150 pounds down to high blood and cardiac arrest, high cholesterol. And so, it's like, I think that Captivating said it earlier about like, we need to do it together. Like if there's problems in a relationship, support your partner. If you want your partner to be healthy, we need to be healthy and we need to go on a journey together. That's why we're in a relationship. We can be mutually supportive and beneficial to one another. So, yeah.
And there's definitely in our, with us as gay men, there's definitely a group of people that like bigger guys anyway, because hell, we got bears, cubs. So there's definitely
BBWs and
BBW, BBCs. But now the next topic, guys, was this guy at this bakery. This is the last question. The black guy he worked at the bakery. His name was Victor Kamara. He was in there, and a Karen brought her ass in there with no mask on. And she demanded to be served, and he told her he couldn't serve her with no mask. And she started berating this guy. She called him a bitch ass in, And she was sitting there and she said it a few times. And she had some biracial children there, which were her children, 4 kids. I later found out whose father is Jamaican, Afro-Cuban. She's 38 years from New York, 38 years old from New York. What did y'all think about that? Y'all saw the clip. What did you think about that? Conscious?
It goes back to the last panel when I said that they need to go ahead and criminalize discrimination of this magnitude, because first of all, we're putting working class people through too much who are simply doing their damn jobs.
For minimum wage or under.
Yeah, who don't get paid enough to be dealing with the fool-la-la of executing the company's orders. Okay, you know, and I think, you know what, and if we're not gonna outlaw it, I feel like go ahead and put a little extra something on the check when it comes to minority employees, because they're the ones having to be impacted by all of this phobia and racism and anti whatever in the world. Like, if y'all don't want to ban and criminalize racism and transphobia and gay phobia, then you need to be adding some extra benefits to minority people across the board, because they're the ones having to, once again, at the base of the pyramid, living their ordinary lives, trying to just pay the bills and having to put up with a bitch's bull crap. You know, the last white Diana hoe who tried that, I think, was at a Chick-fil-A, and she thought she was going to walk scotch-free when she caught the person serving her a whole Negro. Baby, they ran after her ass like a whole Amazonian mob, picked her up and dropped her on her damn neck, breaking her spleen, breaking her damn wrist. She had to have all type of recurring surgeries. And you know what? Did I feel bad for the lady? No, I felt bad for the damn employees who already got to be in line all day, serving, putting up with regular crap in customer service. And then on top of that, you want to call me a nigga and then activate the period of Nat Turner inside of me. And now I got to contemplate death row and living to see another day and to make another dollar. I think that shit is crazy.
Okay, Christian.
Throw the damn Karen trash away. I mean, first of all, she didn't even look fully Karen. She looked like she had some Asian in her somewhere. So clearly,
she said she was Sicilian.
And she feel like she got some black in her because she has some black,
in her. Right. Yeah, there's a difference in having black in you and black in you. I you know, like Conscious said, I do believe that we need to stop and definitely make this a legal issue, because, you know, and not for Donald Trump, but he's the one that helped them be free and come out the closet and just be like, hey, you know, it's okay.
And they had video of her at a Trump rally. She was a Trumpster as well.
Yeah, I know, because I did a little research on her. Yeah, she was the Trumpster as well, and this just, you know, amplified that. And, you know, not to negate the ones of our own skin color, our own melanin, who happen to be Trump supporters and follow that foolishness, but I think there does need to be some kind of legal recourse for these people. I just think that at this point, it is almost like a hate crime. I don't need the words sprayed across my garage for it to be considered a hate crime. I need for you, if you open your mouth and say it to me, yeah, I need to be able to go report your ass and you to be, you know, put behind bars for a while until they decide what to do with you. I need that to happen. And to move forward, to be honest, and this is my last point, if we're really going to talk about having equality and kind of changing the shame of this racial nation or this racist nation as we know as the United States, that is the only way that we're saying, hey, we see it, we understand it, we're trying to change it. The only way to do that is to criminalize it, period.
Okay, Jay?
First of all, if she's Sicilian, as she said so, then she should know that her great great grandparents were probably called the Italian version of the N word, because Northern Italians don't like darker Italians. So again, the oppressed are worse oppressors than the ones who oppress them. And I think that's what we're seeing now. I have a problem that you have biracial children there, and you mentioned the word, and I give the man behind the counter some props, but really not going off and showing some emotional intelligence and some constraint. I'm just glad that people now are showing what these people will do. And I'm glad that this is happening, because Black people have been saying this for years and ignored. And I know that you had a clip with Asian folk on there and African. I think that's interesting as well, because people come from other places, and it's okay when it don't happen to them. But then when it happens to them, or they do it to somebody else, then they want the whole world to come to their aid. And that's why I say again, what happens to the least of us could happen to any one of us. And that's why we have to be very careful of how we treat other people. I'm sure Arab people didn't think that they were going to have a 9/11 and everybody was coming after them. I'm sure Asian people didn't think people were going to start pushing them down now, but Trump kind of showed them that, we don't care who.
Anybody can get it.
And look at how the Arab people are treating people that are like Ethiopian and from Somalia over there.
Yeah.
They're like pushing them out of their cities.
Yeah. So my thing is, you come over here now, and in this white hierarchy with this white male, now you're finding out that, you know what, you a target as well. So don't think that, don't start looking down on Black folk, because this used to bother me. Why can't you all do better? People come from Africa and all these places and they make it. Now they're seeing what the real deal is. People have been saying this all along. Now they're getting the heat. They haven't even gone through a fraction of what we've gone through, and they're losing their doggone mind. So do this for 400 years and still have systematic racism and see how it treats you, and you see how it happens. And so what I'm saying to this is, Black people are survivors. Yeah, we got some things that we need to straighten out. Everything ain't right, but for the most part, we are survivors, and we are strong people. And instead of always looking at the bad, we really need to look at 400 years out here and change from across the ocean, survived that mess, didn't even speak the same language, dealt with all these beatings, but yet here we are today and we can do this. But yet we still got to go through this stuff, yet we still survive. So I'm real serious about that. So I'm sorry that it happened to all of these minority groups, but hopefully now people will see that people don't care about you either. Like you said, Conscious, everybody can get it.
The clip is on my community page, Vita Jones. I put both clips on there. What did you want to add?
Real quick too, just to piggyback off of that. This clip is very interesting because she validated what Black people been saying all along, which is why the excuse of white people having Black friends, the excuse of white people having proximity to Black people, and in this case, even having Black children and being in an interracial relationship itself with a melanated person does not absolve you of being able to be racist as fuck. So I just am going to really give props to God right now for really having Black people live in an era where our truth is being completely validated by people falling on their own damn sword.
I'm telling you, 2020, that vision. I'm telling you, that vision is sharp as shit. Don't play.
Okay. King Payne.
Puriana, captivating Christian over here talking about legal discourse, legal recourse, or whatever, some legal action or something. Y'all already know how I feel. A pussy hole cut. Never. Okay, I'm here. The only thing Blackness she gonna have to worry about, as she done that to me, is removing my black foot, okay, from her ass. And that's just on period.
Well, if you needed your job,
House, it would have went down in the coffee house, okay? And it just would have been. It just would. Y'all see? Remember that one
that's
video?
ridiculous. If you needed your job, you wouldn't do it.
McDonald's when that lady
Right.
You talking
called
shit.
the lady the N-word and she picked up the blender and she tossed it across the room. Okay,
Right, that's
right in her third eye.
That's because she didn't need her job. But if you needed your job, you would have done just like that man did.
You know what?
Yeah.
I think she needed that job. But she said, I'm gonna get
My
another
manager
one.
don't come out the back and tackle her after she called me the N-word. I don't need none of this, okay? What she needs is this prescription of this blender across her damn head right here, okay? Because she done lost her damn mind, and I can show her how to find it.
But some
okay?
people do have a lot to.
She's not running out, baby. She's not running out.
Because your actions could be, you could feel good for that one moment, but when you have an assault case because you went and beat somebody down and can't get a job again for a long,
Oh, no. We live in the time of social media. Do you imagine my GoFundMe would have been overflooded with donations?
No, that's not even necessarily true. Because if we look at the facts, that woman where the nephew, the 5-year-old nephew, was shot in the head by a police officer who was shooting an assailant in Atlanta, has less than $100,000 on the GoFundMe. Yet the man that done shot up all these people, he's got about $2.3 million in his GoFundMe. So I mean,
that's the world that we live in. But we do live in a world of GoFundMes, and if something like that were to happen, Jessica get like $100,000 in her GoFundMe? The Gorilla Glue girl.
I want to add to that. I offered 2 antidotes: criminalize it, or put some respect and some extra coin and some extra medical benefits and vacation time on minority folks. Check. Or if we're not gonna do either of the two, give minority people immunity when they have to whip these hoes' asses. No charges pressed, no court date, no parole. If y'all gonna let racist folk run amok, then the only other way we can balance that out is to absolve black folk and give them total immunity if they gotta put their foot off into a skinny white bitch's ass.
So I don't know if you all heard this too, and this is somewhat different, but I thought it was interesting. I was listening to NPR on this morning, and they're making Virginia Commonwealth, Virginia Tech, William and Mary, all of UVA. They have to set up programs and have money for as long as they had black people who were enslaved. They have to give back. They have to give back either in scholarship, money, because now they're making these colleges give reparations. So how many other slaves you own? And I thought that was really interesting as well. I'm not saying, but they're making
it is interesting, but still, they can still, instead of it just being a scholarship to allow anyone of who is black or of color or whatever kind of descent, whatever you want to use, allow access to those universities and college for an opportunity, they're still just going to allow a certain amount and then be like, or, have a certain criteria for these people. And I don't think that part is fair, which is still excludes a lot of people. So
it's a door, at least it's a move in a positive direction, at least.
Yeah, because let me say this, Georgetown stayed open because they sold black people, period. And you look at them and I just a
lot of places. You look at the down here in Baltimore, the medical whatever. They had plenty of black bodies that they were experimenting on. So I mean, it's just overall, it's sad. It's ridiculous. It's a history of just a dark history that needs to be rectified clearly if we're trying to move forward, but needs to be acknowledged first. Because
and like I said, I think black people really need to do something because the the Chinese people came over here to work on the railroads on their own, and they got reparations. Everybody has gotten them except Black people. So that goes to tell you something right there. You know, people who just came over to work the railroad, they thought it was necessary that they get paid. And yeah. So that was Johns Hopkins University. Yeah.
Okay. Guys, this has been a great show. I've enjoyed all of you all. I definitely appreciate the super chats, the support you guys have given in the chat. Definitely check each of us out. We have something different to bring to the table. Like, subscribe this video, but also check out my fellow panel members. Who's going to be hosting the panel next week?
King Pain.
King Pain. Okay. Look, what?
Of the lituation.
With the money's on the flow.
Okay.
Can we get the questions tomorrow?
we get them on Thursday morning.
Because I think there's some questions on the flow if you need them.
Okay.
He ain't going back to look for them. So just
guys, but yeah, so what do you guys have coming up this week, Jay? What do you have coming up?
Just Resurrection Sunday services and dinner with the family, and that's it.
Conscious?
I'm going to catch up on some sleep. It's been a long, good week, but I am freaking exhausted. So I think I'm just going to rest and be a whole vampire and just get all 24 hours out of my day in my bed.
Okay, Christian.
I definitely will be resting. It's been a bit stressful of a week, but watching this trial and hoping for some justice is what I'll be doing.
Can I ask a question about the trial? Is the trial when is the trial supposed to be up?
It's supposed to be 2 weeks. So
okay.
And might I add again, those brows are snatched for the gods.
They're natural. Sorry, just a little cleanup under here.
That's what we calling it. King.
First of all, it is natural when you see these cheekbones, they're high. They don't sag like people. So cheekbones match eyebrows. So the eyebrow bone, mine are high. So let's get it. Don't be jealous.
It's Chippewa Indian somewhere in there.
It's okay.
His nose could be for Indian.
Well, probably from India.
My nose ain't the only thing big that's too big.
There we go.
Compensate, boo. Compensate. Okay.
I don't need to compensate. I'm not like you.
Right along.
I'm not like you, sir.
I'm not like you.
Let's
what you got coming up going on, King?
Okay, on period. Periana to the period. I'm celebrating all week, y'all. All week. I don't know if y'all seen it.
Right.
I'm gonna check you out.
Yes, Chasing LA is out. Okay, I've been having to keep it a secret, but I have to keep it a secret no more. Okay, y'all come and check out this trailer. We're about to have like a watch party inside. Okay. Did y'all see the trailer yet? I'm in there.
I saw it. It's lit.
It's on your community. Is it on your community page?
Yes, the trailer's on my community feed.
Okay.
I'm going to be reviewing King Pain, so you better be acting right. Oh, the season.
Any tea that you may need, hit me up. If you want any inside skills, because they be cutting it up too. You have to be there. I was there. I even got some receipts, girl.
Okay. All right.
So just definitely wish everybody have a great Easter. I'll be checking you out, Pain. I may be going out of town tomorrow, or I may not. So that'll be it. I'm gonna start my fire. Well, it's gonna be a page I'm starting when I get my dog. I'm gonna have a whole another YouTube channel, and I'm trying to come up with a name for the channel, and it's gonna be whoever whoever name it's a competition. Whoever gives me a name that I like, I'll be giving a giveaway with one of my leather bags that I have. It's a weekender bag. Giving away, the bag was $300, so it's a quality bag. And just give me some suggestions in my inbox, along with nude pics. It'd be appreciated. But guys,
I think you should call the channel "I'm Talking About My Pet and Not About My Man."
oh no, what about? we'll think. We'll play with that. You can start a YouTube channel like that.
So this show is about your family.
About my what?
You and your family, you and your dog and your man.
It's gonna no, just me and a dog. I've dated a few dogs, but it's not gonna be about them. It's gonna be about my little.
You got a whole kennel. Look at you, goddamn, a whole kennel.
That's what you should call the show.
Oh, look at that little chihuahua.
Call it the whole
Far from it.
But guys, okay, guys, thank you all for coming through again. Catch us next week on the official King Pains platform. Now we're supposed to start at 6:45, and that'd be 9:45. Just still,
Right.
we'll be there.
Damn.
We're out, y'all. Peace. Much love to you guys.
See y'all soon. Love y'all.
Are you eating?
With